Hey guys, Jet Set Jamerson here with my third video in my complete guide to Pro Apex series. Today I'll be talking about the worst or rarely used legends in competitive play. If you watched my last video, you'll notice some changes to the tier list, and that's because of patch 1.1.1 that had major changes for Caustic and Gibraltar. Let's dive right into it. First up on my list is Caustic. Since the last patch, Caustic has been bumped up to C tier, with more and more teams experimenting with him and finding more success. He may be the first legend to hop out of the bottom 4 and break into A-B tier range soon. His passive Nox Vision grants you the ability to see through gas and, additionally, take no damage from gas. That's also including an opposing Caustics. With the latest patch, he also has the Fortified passive, which reduces damage taken by 10%, but it's currently bugged and not working as intended. Once it's working, we may see him climb in usage and tier. Caustic's tactical ability is Nox Gas Trap. He can store up to 3 canisters and place up to 6 on the map at any given time. When triggered, the gas will damage enemies and impair their vision and movement. With the latest patch, the damage of the gas starts at 4 and increases by 1 for every tick. Nox Gas Trap has a myriad of uses. It can block doors, control choke points, serve as an early alarm system, and effectively works as a throwable with short range, so you can manage your economy and inventory in a different manner. Finally, Caustic's ultimate is Nox Gas Grenade, which blankets a fairly large area in Nox Gas. It benefits from the buff to his gas damage and can stack up incredibly quick. Because of the instant bloom, low cooldown, and high damage, this ultimate can find immense value for teams. This value increases later in the game as more engagements will be taken within throwing range of the ultimate and area denial is necessary. One last note about Caustic is that his gas impairs his teammates' vision and movement too. That is currently one of his biggest drawbacks, but teams still find the potential damage and utility a sufficient trade-off. Next on our list is Gibraltar. While Gibraltar offers a wealth of utility to teams, he has the largest hitbox in the game and can be quite vulnerable if caught out in the open. Teetering on the edge of C and D tiers, Gibraltar could make a push for B or C once his Fortified passive works as intended. Gibraltar's passive Gun Shield provides a 75 HP shield that covers the top half of his body when aiming down sights. The recent buff from 50 to 75 HP on the shield means that it can now tank 2 longbow shots before breaking, blocking potentially 246 damage. This makes Gibraltar a formidable counter sniper if you position correctly. It does have the drawback of having a terrible wingman recoil animation that obscures much of your vision. The Dome of Protection is a large dome shield that cannot be broken and lasts 15 seconds. It is well suited to block other ultimates like Bangalore's Rolling Thunder and, well, Defensive Bombardment. The Dome is a great tool if you need to run across a path that doesn't offer much cover. If you're familiar with playing Winston in Overwatch, those skills directly translate, especially in close quarters combat. You can kite your opponents in and out of your dome to reduce damage taken. The dome can also come in clutch if you need to pick up a downed teammate. This is a safer alternative to Lifeline's Combat Medic Shield because it offers you 360-degree protection. Gibraltar's ultimate, Defensive Bombardment, is a large AoE that calls down mortar strikes on a position. Players discovered early on you can combine it with a Dome of Protection if you find yourself getting caught off guard by a team way too close to you. This combo can buy your team the necessary time to heal to full with a Phoenix Kit or even a Shield Battery plus Med Pack combo. Much like Caustic and Bangalore's ultimates, Defensive Bombardment is a great tool for area denial. You can cut off rotations, push people off high ground positions, or protect your building from incursions. And similarly, the value of the ultimate increases as the game goes on and the playable areas become smaller. Now we're moving down to the F tier, and first up, it's gonna be Bloodhound. The value they offer to the team is quite low, and the drawbacks of their dueling abilities makes anyone from the top 5 a better option. Bloodhound is rarely used, if at all, in competitive play because their abilities don't offer any profound influence in-game. Bloodhound's passive tracker is arguably the best aspect about them. You can see where your opponents run, and even if they have used healing items or ziplines and balloons. With a virtual 100% uptime, You can glean important information for your team when rotating and approaching areas. Bloodhound's tactical ability Eye of the Allfather reveals enemy positions in a cone in front of you. Theoretically, it should provide your team with a lot of information, but in practice, it mostly creates a lot of visual clutter and can often confuse you or your teammates. This is definitely an ability to use for scouting and rarely mid-fight during a full 3v3 engagement. Bloodhound's ultimate Beast of the Hunt enhances your vision, making enemies glow red and everything else becomes gray. It also increases your movement speed, and combined with the small hitbox of Bloodhound, you become extremely difficult to hit. Like with most things Bloodhound, there are a lot of drawbacks with this ultimate. Enemies can hear you from a mile away as you breathe louder than I do after walking up a flight of stairs. Your field of vision is increased, making targets on your screen actually smaller and decreasing the performance of your game if you don't have a good computer that can handle it. And finally, we have Mirage, the last legend on the tier list because he does basically nothing. He has a small hitbox but no real dueling capability, and his abilities offer almost no utility to the team. His passive Encore will drop a decoy and cloak you when you get knocked down, but if you're knocked down, it's already too late for you. Every other legend has a passive that contributes throughout the match and can have some impact. This one, you're literally just lying there. Mirage's tactical ability Psych Out can offer a semblance of utility to the team. Send out your decoy, and if an enemy shoots it, you can gain information about positioning for your team. It can also be used to scout buildings or caves before you make a push. Surprisingly, I would say one of its best uses is when you're out of vision of an enemy. The decoy makes noises when it moves, and that audio distraction can be used to confuse and flank enemies that are in buildings or on the other side of a wall. Mirage's ultimate Vanishing Act sends out a team of decoys while cloaking you and giving you improved movement speed. Rarely in competitive play does this ultimate work as intended, as even though you're cloaked, trained opponents can easily spot you. Add on to that, during your cloak, you cannot heal, shoot, or cancel the ultimate early, making this ability more of a liability. One final piece of business before we close out this video. I've made one change to the top 5 tier list, and that's to Octane. He's been dropped down from S tier and is now in B tier because he has seen a stark drop in usage in competitive play. Pathfinder has largely become the better alternative, as many have found that the sonorous bellow of Octane's stim gives away too much information to enemies. And that's it for the best and worst legends to play in competitive Apex Legends. My next videos will focus on optimal loadouts and weapons, along with concepts like rotations and economy. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button. If you've got any feedback or would like me to cover a specific topic, leave a reply in the comments section below. As always, if you like my content, be sure to subscribe to the channel to be notified when my next video goes live. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.